Hi everybody. So about 3 weeks out now from my through hike. Definitely getting pretty excited. So I wanted to film a video showing my first aid kit and my cook kit because those two things have been pretty much finalized now. I still have a few more clothing items I'm waiting on, and another electronics piece that I'm waiting on, and then I'll show what I'm bringing for those. Just a little update. I was able to get my leave of absence from work, so that's pretty nice. I'll have a place to go back to once I finish hiking. And I also get to keep my health insurance, which is awesome. I just have to pay what I would normally pay out of pocket out of each check, which is fine. So other than that, I've been super busy at work trying to get ready to leave. So unfortunately, that means I've been not able to get out for a shakedown hike. It looks like I might be able to get one in the weekend before I start heading down to Georgia, but we'll see how that goes. I'll post a video if I'm able to. So yeah, we'll get right into it, and thanks again for watching. Alright, so one more thing. At the end of my video, there's also an update to my big three, specifically my tarp, ridgeline, and my tent stakes. So you'll see that. Alright guys, so this is my first aid kit and just other small items, miscellaneous stuff. This won't go with my first aid kit, but this is just my trowel. This will go with my bathroom kit, which will just be this toilet paper and hand sanitizer. This is the deuce of spades. It weighs 0.6 ounces. It's pretty light. This is my toothbrush. I'm not going to bring toothpaste, water, and this should do fine. This is just half a bamboo toothbrush. I'm sure I didn't save much weight by cutting it in half, but why not? These are my earplugs with an extra pair. A tick key for removing ticks, since there's a lot of ticks on the AT. This is sheets of camp soap that I removed from the package. I'm only going to bring this if I decide to bring my contact lenses, which I haven't decided on yet. And that would be just to get my hands a little cleaner if I do decide to take them out in the woods. This is just a small compass. It's probably not necessary, but I'm kind of a map nerd. I like to see where I'm looking, like which direction off of viewpoints and stuff like that. This is some floss that I removed from the container. And that's just because there's certain things when I eat them, they get stuck in my teeth and just drive me nuts, so that's definitely necessary for me. Getting into the first aid stuff, a couple alcohol prep pads in case there's any large cuts. This I just had laying around and it's really light. I think this is like a local anesthetic for stings or bites, so I'll just bring one of those. Mini Bic lighter. I'll have one with my cook kit. This will just be for my backup. These are some cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. This would just be for like an emergency fire starting situation. The Z-Pack sewing kit, it just has a curved needle, so you don't have to worry about the needle poking into anything. It's got some heavy duty thread for gear repair. 2 safety pins. These have a number of uses, like popping blisters. Also, if you had to make like a sling out of your clothes, you could use these. This is just some thinner like moleskin tape and some thicker moleskin, just in case for blister treatment. If I find I'm not getting blisters, I'll probably just keep a little of that around. Got 4 band-aids to start, a couple sizes. This is ibuprofen and just some Tylenol. It's just kind of whatever I had lying around to start. I'm sure I'll probably need to pick up more of that. A couple antibiotic ointment packets, like Neosporin, again for any big cuts. Same thing, 2 gauze pads for anything big that would happen. And a couple butterfly closures. Hopefully it doesn't come to this, but these are nice to have. This is something I got as a stocking stuffer, and I figure I'll try it out. It's a blister treatment pad. Again, if I don't find that I'm getting blisters, I'll probably just get rid of this. These are just some other medications that might come in handy. So some diphenhydramine, which is Sudafed. It's an antihistamine, 3 of those. And then 3 just anti-diarrheal, just in case, just something to get me off trail without getting too dehydrated. And this is just a Thermarest patch kit. It just has 2 clear patches. I don't actually have a sleeping pad, or I will through the Smokies, but not normally. But this is just a patch, anything like nylon that I have. It also has 2 like glue blobs between 2 papers that might come in handy, but we'll see. I'll also have duct tape on my trekking pole. That'll be mainly what I'm using to patch stuff. Alright guys, so this is my cook kit, and also my bear bag kit. So yeah, this is my bear bag. It's the Z-Packs large bear bag. It's Cuban fiber, so it's waterproof. It's got the Velcro top, and you just roll it down and clip it like a normal dry bag. This is the rucksack and the line that came with the bear bag kit. Then for water storage, for dirty water, what I'll be filtering out of is the Knock Outdoors. And this is a 2-liter reservoir. This is nice. It has the zip top, so you can open it up and really easily fill it up. And you can probably even use this as like a water scoop as well. Then for the clean water that I'll be drinking out of, I'm bringing a 1-liter smart water bottle with the sport top on it. And then the rest is in here. This is my cook kit. So I have the Sea to Summit spork. A lot of people use the spoons. I like the spork because I'm planning on eating stuff like ramen, so you can kind of grab the noodles a little better. Then holding my pot together, I got this heavy-duty rubber band, which is pretty nice. It just keeps everything together. And around my pot, I have a homemade koozie, just made out of Reflectix. And this is going to be used for rehydrating food if I'm doing like freezer bag cooking or anything like that. Or just to hold my pot when it has hot stuff in it while I'm eating. And then buried in here is just a cover I'm going to use. This is just the bottom of a disposable baking pan. It just weighs a lot less than what my pot came with. So this would just be just a little more efficiency when I'm boiling water and stuff. This is just the top to the koozie. And inside I got the fuel canister. I guess this is probably considered consumable, so yeah, not part of my base weight. This is my pot. It's a 0.8 liter Snow Peak titanium. For the stove, I'm using the BRS. I don't know if there's a model number or not, but basically it's the one on Amazon that's like 0.9 ounces. Yeah, I have a backup in case this one fails. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just a mini Bic lighter, and I'll have one more of these. Actually, you already saw it in my first aid kit. Got the Snow Peak Hot Lips, and this is just for putting on the edge of the cup if I'm drinking like hot coffee or something. Then I have my knife. It's a Spyderco Ladybug, I believe, and it's got a pretty decent blade on it. It's obviously not made for self-defense or anything like that. And I'm not sure if I'll put this in my cook kit, actually. We'll see. And then just to wrap up the stove and anything else that might scratch up my pot while I'm hiking, is just a little scrap piece of rag. And then obviously this will double as something to clean out any stains in my pot. And I think that's it. Alright, so I almost forgot my water filter. I'm using the Sawyer Squeeze, the regular size one. I used to use the mini for overnight trips, but I've heard the flow rate is way better on this one, so I figured it's worth the upgrade. And the nice thing about this is you can use the sport tops of the smart water bottles to back flush it, so you don't need to bring the little pump thing that they give you. And yeah, this screws right onto the smart water bottles and also right onto the bladder that I have. Alright, so I did have an update also to my sleep system, and this was actually based on one of the comments on my Big 3 video. So one thing is, I was using, I forget what the term is, but it's not a continuous ridgeline. So you have tie-outs going from each end of your tarp to both trees that your hammock's using. So instead I'm going to use a continuous ridgeline, and then I'll connect my tarp with soft shackles to that ridgeline, and then that'll easily make it movable. And I'll actually show how that works at the end of this. But I actually made this myself, which was pretty cool. I learned how to splice Dyneema, or Zing It, actually this is. But yeah, one end has a loop with a Dutch hook on it. This is the fixed end. And then the other side, the Dutch wear wasp is used, and this moves along the line to adjust the length. And then you loop the other side around a tree or whatever, and then you can wrap it tight, and it'll hold. The other update is I'm going to bring 6 of these titanium V stakes. I think these are 0.4 ounces each, so pretty light. They're definitely heavier than my shepherd's hooks, though. I replaced I think it was like P-cord or whatever, but I did some soft shackles with the war bonnet ticks, the tarp ticks that I had. So these will be nice and easy to tie out each time I set up my tarp. I'm still going to use a couple of these shepherd hooks. I have 2 tie-outs on my hammock that aren't necessary for functionality. One's just the shelf on one side, and then the other one's just to kind of open it up a little bit more. So I figure if I'm in a spot where that works out, then great. If not, then no big deal. Alright, so I just wanted to give a close-up of how the ridgeline's going to work, the continuous ridgeline. So at one end, this is the Dutch hook, and this is the fixed end. And at this end, this side would wrap around another tree, and then I have the Dutch wasp, which you can adjust how long it is. So this side would, if you can imagine, would be my ridgeline where my tarp's going to be. So you wrap it around a tree, come back with this end. This locks on this side like that. I don't know if you can see that. But at this point you can't move the wasp. So you wrap it around the tree, come back with the other end. You hook onto this little leverage point, and you can tie it around the wing. So you got a tight ridgeline. Alright, so to actually attach the tarp, I'd be using 2 soft shackles, and I'm just using a Prusik knot to attach it to the ridgeline, and then the other end you can open and close. So when this is not under load, you can move it easily along the line to adjust where your tarp is quickly. And then once the tarp's attached and it's under load, you can see you can't move it. It works like a finger trap again, just making it tighter the harder you pull.